First off, forgive me. I told you I was going to respond to this question days ago. But as far as with your question about this motion that was filed by the Department of Education requesting a 18-month extension on adjudicating borrowed defense applications for those who are post-class members in the Sweet versus McMahon settlement. For me, I felt a lot of different things. First off, you kind of knew the Department of Education. I mean, just based off their history and how they did class members. Remember, class members had to go back in court to the motion that they filed to enforce the Department of Education to abide by the terms of the settlement and provide the relief for class members on the dates of the settlement. So you knew that in a sense that it wasn't going to be just a slam dunk process for post-class members. The things for me is just the wording and the language that was used in the motion and how the Department of Education spoke about post-class borrowers or post-class applicants in the settlement as far as when they talk about what is equitable, as far as, first and foremost, they mentioned the size of the class, how big the class is, and how many borrowers who applied between that time frame after the class was certified into the last date when the settlement was finalized, how big the amount of applications that they received, that they could not have been prepared for the amount of people that put in applications. Not only that, they don't have the staffing to even go through the applications, the attorneys on staff to go through the applications as well. And for me, I'm just like, wait, you are actively trying to dismantle the Department of Education. You have actively cut your own staff, and now you're going to come in court and say, hey, I know I told people you fired, but it's like, it was just absolutely wild to me. Every sentence I read in that motion, it just became more and more sickening. They spoke about as well how the amount of money that is going to be discharged with the loans, what it's going to cost taxpayers. And they spoke like, members in the settlement are not active contributing members to society, like they don't pay taxes. Like, it is wild to me. And then to just the inflated amount of the loans as well, because this isn't just principal, this is also interest, from predatory schools that are inflating this dollar amount that they're mentioning in the motion. They also spoke about as far as the claims, that post-class members in the settlement, don't even have the same claims as class members. Class members, their claim was that the Department of Education delayed making decisions on applications. What are post-class members? What is their complaint? So, and that they should be allowed to have the time to look through those complaints, because what they're saying is that if they have the ability to look through those complaints, they believe that majority of them won't even be approved. So that's what for me was scary as well, is that if they are allowed this additional 18 months, if they are just going to start denying claims, because that means now, this borrower has to fight. They have to, so I'm hoping that the judge sees it in the eyes of the borrowers and they don't allow this extension. They make the Department of Education or hold them to the terms of the settlement. Your other question was about the 3-year time frame. So when it comes to that 3-year time frame, with the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, they speak about that 2022 rule. So that is not applicable to any loans that were dispersed prior to 2035.